from Tall Mouse Creative Arts, and I just wanted to share my Mother's Day cards that I made this year. So I used several of our products, and I wanted to show you the finished pieces, and then I was going to make one as well as a matching envelope. So let's take a look at what I used. First of all, I'm making 5x7 cards. So I used our A7 card base and layering dies. So I used parts of set number 2 and set number 3. So set number 2, I just used the outline edge because that is that dotted edge. So that's the outside of my card. And then set number 3, I used the layering pieces on the inside. For the outside of the card, I only used the one layering piece. For the inside of the card, I used the second innermost layering pieces, but I did use both sets, the scallop with the stitched and then the scallop dot with the stitched. So set 2 and 3, and then my card, my paper that I used would be Botanical Garden from Cartabella. I just felt like it looked like all those beautiful Mother's Day cards, and I stuck with the pinks and the natural colors, pinks on this end and the fern color. I just didn't do the reds, but these packs are wonderful because they've got obviously double-sided paper, extra thick as well, and then they have these sheets that you can chop up, which I used as part of my cards. And then, of course, you've got a sticker page as well to add a little bit more woohoo to everything that you're doing. So I was going to show you my cards, and then I used some scraps, too, of my foam because I layered all these guys up. So that is the stitched part of the outside of the card, and then the layering die set, the inside set. And then this part was one of those pre-cut pieces that I just had to cut out. And then just to give it a little bit of a nice cornered edge, I used my corner rounder. And then I did ink that. I didn't ink the outside of it. I finished it off with my handmade piece right there. All of them have a few different ones. And then I just printed these on, I wanted a tone-on-tone look for the inside of my card. So I used the die to cut those guys out. So I thought these turned out really nice. And if you notice, I'll give you the side, this layer has foam and this layer is foamed up against that. So I'm going to show you the outside of them and then show you what I used to do that. So this guy is nice and thick. And then I've got Choose Happiness also, so you can see the dotted one shows up really well on the black. And then I just took a lot of mix and matching of the tops and then the layering pieces. I just thought that they would be nice and fun. And then I always mix up my cards. I like to make maybe the identical look, but not every single one of them that are exactly the same. And then I did envelopes too. So I'm going to set my cards aside a moment. So the envelopes, we're going to make one together. I'm going to show you. I use the Judikins envelope template. So this is a template, not a die. And this is an A7. It's a triple A set. A5, A6, A7 envelope. So you get 1, 2, 3 different sizes. So I use the A7. So that's what it looks like where I scored. I traced and cut it out, so we just got to fold these up. But before we do that, let's show you some of the envelopes because they come out perfect. And it is an envelope with a pointed, rounded edge right there. So I like to mix up all my cards, pop them into fun, beautiful envelopes that I used all the double-sided paper with, and then address them randomly. So I don't know who's getting what card, but I just love doing that. Sometimes I feel like it's a surprise for me as to who gets what. Okay, so we'll come back to the envelope in just a minute. I wanted to show you, we sell this large 8.5 by 11 double-sided foam. It's 2 millimeters thick, if you can see right there. It's perfect for doing layering, but 2 millimeters will also go through the die cut machine. So I've used all these extra pieces These are the extra pieces where I've die cut something, but I did not want to get rid of the foam. As you can see, some of the shapes right here. So I used, let's scoot this guy over. So what I did is I already cut my 5x7 piece out. You want to take your bone folder and go ahead and crease that, give that a nice crease. And then the larger piece I already cut out of the dies, and then you can see it all popped out right there. And then this piece I did use just a large piece of our foam, cut it up. So I'm going to take that guy apart. Let's get that going. And then because they're all pre-measured, you're just eyeballing exactly where you're going. You do not have to do any of the measuring. Okay, so now that gave it just a little bit of a puff right there. And then if you notice on this one, I did corner my edges and I inked it. I inked it with Ground Espresso Distress from Ranger. And I already popped in some of my foam on the back. So you can see that is a whale shape. So I cut a die cut off of the foam, and that would be the inside of the whale shape. So I don't need the whole thing to be foamed up, but I do need sections of it. So I just am using my extra pieces so they don't go to waste. So let's peel all those guys off, because then it saves you from using your squares or your circles, however you guys like to use your foam. And then it's the perfect size also, height-wise. I didn't want to have too tall of a card in layering because I was layering both pieces, but I did want a little bit of dimension. So let's get that right there. And okay. So that guy, so foam underneath here, layering, and then foam underneath here, which is layered, which I don't know that you can see it, but so basically 2 millimeters and another 2 millimeters, 4 millimeters, and then I'm going to attach the inside of that guy. So this I'm just doing with the tape runner because I want that side flat. And then, whoop, I think I left, yep, one more little handmade. So we're going to put that guy on the bottom, and then I'll put my initials before I pop that into the envelope. So my card is all ready to go, and then I'm just going to add a few little rhinestones or maybe some pearls just to give it a little bit of a, you know, woo-woo to it. You can certainly use Wink of Stella and put a little bit of glitter, just a little soft covering of glitter, what would be fun on the flowers. So for the envelope, I traced this one out, as you can see already. So you want to trace it, cut it out, and then the outside lines gives us our A7, the largest size. So I already, I draw lines on the inside, but not the top flap, excuse me. And this is a little bit on the thicker side paper, which is really nice and sturdy. And when I use the template, I always do a soft fold before I come back with my bone folder to give it a more solid crease, because sometimes when you're folding it, it could go like this, which, you know, if you're doing it a hard crease, you don't want to do that. So let's give that just a soft little fold right there. This guy, I call it a soft fold, and then we do that. So now here is my envelope. So I'm going to put adhesive on this end right here, and then finish that guy up. And we are ready to mail our Mother's Day cards, which I'm very excited about. I hope you guys have fun making your Mother's Day cards for any family member that is a mother, or your sister, or anybody who's been a mother figure. Okay, so let's do that. And then I like to take it, the bone folder, and just finish off those little corners too. Fold this guy down, finish off those little corners, just to kind of push that little corner down, and then that envelope is ready to go as well. All right, you guys, you have a very wonderful day making Mother's Day cards or whatever type of cards you are into. All right, enjoy.